So, while Belle was having the time of her life locked up in that castle, Gaston was busy gloating back at the village. Having been humiliated by Belle in front of the entire village, he felt disgraced and cheated, and retreated back to his tavern, where he spent his ways throwing beer into the fire and gloating. And it seemed like he was never going to stop until LeFou stood up on a table and was like, "Gaston, you need to man up, because you're great, and everybody wants to beat you." And they showed off his awesomeness by singing a song about him and having a ridiculously awesome party with lots and lots of wine. And they threw the roof off of this place. Literally. All was great until Maurice came and he was like, "He's got Belle locked in detention." When Gaston asked who, he said, "A beast! A horrible, monstrous beast!" Yeah, you can imagine how everybody else felt about that, and they started rolling around with laughter until Gaston said that he would help Maurice, which only led to him being knocked off of a roof again. Maurice is not having a good day. However, while Gaston was up on that roof, he began thinking. It was a terrible feeling to think, but he was still thinking. He knew Belle would do anything for her father. And that's when he hatched his evil plan. But enough about him, because he's not as important as our main protagonist. So let's check back in with Belle. Yes, she's still locked up in this castle. She's not getting out anytime soon, I'm just saying. So she was crying and gloating, just like Gaston, when all of a sudden Mrs. Potts and Chip came in. Belle was very surprised to see a talking teapot and a talking cup come to her, but they gave her great sympathy, and Miss Potts told her that though it might not seem possible, everything would be okay. And with that, she and Chip left, and Belle was left alone, until she turned around and saw her talking wardrobe named Madame Grande la Bouche, who was delighted to finally have somebody to share her clothes with. She was just getting into the prettiest of her gowns when Belle shared that she was not going to dinner with the Beast. Ever. This was rather unfortunate, seeing as the Beast had expected Belle to come to dinner, for nobody had disobeyed his orders ever. So he got very mad when she was not down when he was ready. Lumiere and Mrs. Potts tried to make the Beast understand that Belle was going through a lot lately, but the Beast was not willing to understand. Lumiere shared his thoughts that this girl might be the one to break the spell. Beast had been thinking the same thing, but he wouldn't admit it. All of a sudden, Cogsworth came in with no Belle, so Beast asked Cogsworth where Belle was. He stuttered a little bit before telling the Beast that she wasn't coming, and let's just say the Beast got a little angry over this. What? He ran up to her room, demanding her to come to dinner, but Belle refused, claiming that she wasn't hungry. The Beast was about to retort when Lumiere reminded him that he should try and win over Belle's affections, so he tried asking more politely with the word please, which had not been heard by the Beast in like 5 years. But Belle refused again, and the Beast told Belle that if she didn't eat with him, then she would have to starve. But the other inanimate objects were all like, not happening. So Mrs. Potts went to fetch Belle while Lumiere and Cogsworth prepared a feast. When Belle came back with Mrs. Potts, she was astonished to see all the work that had been done for her. And with the other inanimate objects, she happily enjoyed her meal, along with the famous song, be our guest, da 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 da. But soon the feast was over, and it was time for Belle to be heading back to her room. But did she do that? No, of course she didn't. She went off exploring and found herself in the West Wing. She had just discovered a curious picture of the Beast when something else caught her eye. It was the enchanted rose, and it was the loveliest rose she had ever seen. How badly she wanted to touch it and keep it for her own, even though she knew it was not hers. However, before Belle could do anything except for lift up the case, the Beast appeared. I mean, seriously, was he literally just watching her there from that entire spot? Does he do that with everybody? Anyway, he just started yelling at Belle and told her to leave the castle and never return, because he thought that she might have hurt the rose. So Belle did what the Beast ordered her to and ran away from the castle. However, she found herself lost in the woods. Does this sound familiar? And before she could do anything, she was attacked by wolves.
Hey, those aren't wolves.
Well, they're as good as it'll get. So anyway, Belle was being attacked by wolves when the beast came and suddenly fought off all the wolves, but he was mortally wounded in the fight. Belle was about to run away back to the village when she saw the beast just lying there. She decided to take him back to the castle and nurse for him until he was able to nurse himself. This led to many arguments when he was conscious. Both tried to blame the other for the actions that had happened, but Belle left the beast tongue-tied with this. Well, you should learn to control your temper. This being the first time that anybody had ever bothered to say this out loud, a spark grew between the two. So, winter came finally, and Belle and Beast were enjoying a nice winter day outside. Belle noticed that there was something about the beast that she had never noticed until now. She felt like she enjoyed being with him. They spent hours and hours, day after day, reading in the library, which was Belle's favorite room in the castle. Each story they read, they grew closer and closer together.